The Road to Kalos event is our penultimate event of February, but let me just say, this event could be better than the tour itself. We're going to show you why. This video is going to be a day-by-day step guide from all the bonuses you need to worry about, all the Pokemon and raid bosses that are going to be spawning, but most importantly, what targets you should be going after on each and every day. This is your Road to Kalos event tour guide with Go With Us. Guys, the Road to Kalos event will be going live on the 23rd at midnight all the way until Friday the 27th, also at midnight, and the very next day is when the Kalos Global Tour actually starts. Before we get to our day-by-day guide, we need to run through a couple things just to make you guys aware of what's going on. And first up, we need to talk about the new Go Pass, which is going to be called the Road to Kalos. If you didn't know, the Go Pass to all trainers will be free, but if you do want to get the Go Pass Deluxe, that is going to cost a total of $15, which is going to get you access to bonus rewards. But if you do want to pay an extra $5 for a total of $20, you can get the Go Pass Deluxe, including the first 10 ranks, so you only start on rank 11. To start on the free Go Pass, these are going to be the rewards for all trainers. It looks like the main reward is going to be an encounter with Lucario that has a Mega Evolution inspired special background. We can get Lucario Mega Energy, a Go Tour 2026 T, encounters with Kalos Tour themed Pokemon. We can get more Stardust, XP, Pokeballs, candy, and even more. And the following are going to be the rewards if you purchase the deluxe version. So you're going to get the free rewards, including these as well. You're going to get a main encounter with Hoopa Unbound again right at the end of your track. You're going to get access to a lucky trinket as well, which can guarantee a lucky trade. You will get Zygarde cells, a Zygarde jacket avatar item, Victory Bell Mega Energy, Malamar Mega Energy, Candy XL for certain Pokemon, premium items such as some premium battle passes, incenses, TMs, and even more. So the rewards here are looking solid, but I would say more so on the free side, especially if you already do have a Hoopa Unbound. That is all the Go Pass details, but what are going to be the bonuses running behind everything at the same time? It's going to be half egg hatch distance for the entire week when eggs are placed into the incubator. The remote raid pass limit on every single day from Monday to Friday will be increased to 30, but there will be no remote raid limit on the weekend, which is going to be the 28th and 29th. Because of that half egg hatch distance bonus, there is a 2-kilometer egg pool which is hatching some brilliant Pokemon. Those Pokemon are going to be Larvitar, Bagon, Beldum, and Gible. A brilliant pool here. As we all know, all of those Pokemon have Mega Pokemon that are incredibly relevant still in the game right now. Mega Tyranitar right now is one of the better Rock and Dark type attackers in the entire game. The same with Bagon going into Mega Salamence, still one of the best Flying type attackers as well as one of the best Dragon type attackers. Mega Metagross from Beldum is still one of the best Psychic and Steel type attackers in the game. And even on Gible's side, going into Mega Garchomp, I believe is currently the top 3 Dragon type attackers, and I believe in the top 2 or 3 Ground type attackers. Now is time for our day-by-day guide, but before we get there, we just want to explain how we're going to do this. On every day, there is a certain raid boss that is going to be spawning from a certain region, and on top of that, all of these Pokemon will be able to know their legacy moves, bar a couple which we will touch on day by day. Let's kick off with Monday the 23rd, which is going to be featuring and surrounding the Kanto region. The main raid bosses that are going to be spawning there in 1-star raids will be Pikachu wearing Red's hat as well as Pikachu wearing Leaf's hat. And the 5-star raids are going to be featuring Articuno, Zapdos, as well as Moltres, and they will have the potential to have their own unique backgrounds inspired by Team Valor, Team Instinct, or Team Mystic. Articuno on this day is going to know the legacy move Hurricane, Zapdos is going to know the legacy fast move Thunder Shock, and Moltres will know the legacy move Sky Attack. In terms of the wild spawns, there will be a lot of Pokemon spawning from the Kanto region. We can see Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, as well as encounters with Pikachu, Clefairy, and Meowth. Please bear in mind that Meowth is a permanently boosted Stardust Pokemon granting 750 Stardust per catch, so if you are seeing a lot of them, consider throwing out a star piece. Those are the details for Monday, but what are going to be our main targets? And let's kick off with how good Moltres is in Pokemon Go right now. As a Fire type attacker, it's still breaking into the top 30 with Fire Spin and Overheat. As a Flying type attacker, it's currently in the 17th spot with that legacy move of Sky Attack. So this is definitely a good Pokemon to go after. If you're wondering how good Zapdos is in Pokemon Go right now, well, as an Electric type attacker, it's currently still breaking to the top 20 with that Thunder Shock fast move, and as a Flying type attacker, it's just hovering outside the top 30, again with that Thunder Shock and Drill Peck. So again, as a raid attacking Pokemon, this Pokemon is solid. Zapdos is better than something like Moltres in the Master League right now because it's currently hovering around the 75th spot, so if you did get a hundo, consider powering this up. You could use it as a raid attacker and in PvP. And And last but not least, let's have a look at Articuno. Unfortunately, this is probably our worst target of the 3 birds. It's currently only the 42nd best ice type attacker in the game. In the Master League, it's breaking outside of the top 200. So Articuno is probably our worst pick here. In the wild, I want to focus on our 3 starters, which is going to be Charmander, Squirtle, as well as Bulbasaur. Charmander going into Mega Charizard Y right now is currently the 2nd best fire type attacker in the game and the 18th best flying type attacker in the game as well. If you want to look at Squirtle going into Blastoise, Blastoise right now in the Great League is currently hovering around the 40th spot. In the Ultra League, it's performing even better, breaking into the top 30 as of recording this video. And if you didn't know, Mega Blastoise is still in the top 5 water type attackers in the game. So again, these starters are still very relevant. Venusaur right now is a pretty solid PvP Pokemon. Their rankings right now aren't that favorable, but I do believe this is always a decent Pokemon to build. But as the Mega, it is currently the 3rd best grass type attacker in the game and the 19th best poison type attacker in the game with Sludge Bomb. These starters are very important to go after, especially if you don't have the Hundo. And the last one we're going to focus on here is going to be Clefairy going into Clefable. Clefable right now is currently hovering around the top 25 in the Great League, and in the Ultra League though, it shines even better with XL Candy breaking into the top 10. This is an incredible start to the week, especially from a wild spawns point of view. Moving on to Tuesday now, and this is going to be surrounding the Johto region. Our main 2 raid bosses that day are going to be Shadow Ho-Oh as well as Shadow Lugia and 5-star Shadow raids. They will not be coming with their legacy moves, which is interesting. They will potentially have their gold and silver special background, which I think look absolutely amazing. And of course, they will have their own raid hour from 6 to 7 p.m. local time that day. Also spawning in 1-star raids on that Tuesday is going to be Pikachu wearing Ethan's hat as well as Pikachu wearing Lyra's hat. Both of those can be shiny too. If you guys are wondering how good Shadow Ho-Oh and Shadow Lugia are, let's have a look right now. Shadow Ho-Oh still, as a fire type attacker, is breaking into the top 20 with Incinerate, but you do need Sacred Fire on this Pokemon, which will not be coming on this day, which is a little bit disappointing. As a flying type attacker, it's still breaking to the top 30 with Extra Sensory and Brave Bird. And even in the Master League as well, Shadow Ho-Oh hits tremendously hard, breaking just outside of that top 50, but this Pokemon is still a very good Pokemon to utilize, definitely worth rating. But let's have a look at Shadow Lugia right now. Shadow Lugia as a psychic type attacker is still breaking to the top 40 with Extra Sensory and Future Sight. As a flying type, it's performing even better with Extra Sensory and Fly. In the Master League as well though, this Pokemon is even better. It's still hovering around the top 20th spot with Dragon Tail, Aeroblast, which will require an Elite Charge TM, as well as Fly. Both of these Pokemon are definitely worth rating. These are going to be the Pokemon spawning in the wild on Tuesday. We can see Chikorita, Cyndaquil, Totodile, as well as Marill, Hoppip, and Teddiursa. In terms of top targets there, Totodile going into Feraligatr is undoubtedly still going to be your best pick here. Feraligatr is still breaking to the top 25 as a water type attacker. In the Great League right now, it's breaking to the top 70. In the Ultra League, it's even better, breaking to the top 20. This is definitely still our best starter to go after. It's important to mention as well that Majanium as well as Feraligatr will have their megas coming to the game at some point, so try and get the Hundo while you still can. The other top target to focus on that day is definitely going to be Marill going into Azumarill. Not a very good raid attacking Pokemon, but in the Great League with XL Candy right now, this Pokemon is breaking into the top 10. Azumarill has stood the test of time in PvP, and if you're looking for a PvP Mon, look no further than Tuesday. Moving on to Wednesday the 28th, which is going to be featuring the Hoenn region. This is probably going to be the day I grind the hardest. In 1-star raids, we can see Pikachu wearing Brendan's hat as well as Pikachu wearing May's hat, and in Primal raids for the entire day, coming with the Primal energy as well, we will be able to see Primal Kyogre as well as Primal Groudon also having their own raid hour from 6 to 7 p.m. local time that day. Let's not waste any time. Primal Groudon right now is still the best by a long shot, the best ground type attacker in the entire game with Mudshot and Precipice Blades, which will require an Elite Charge TM, and even as a fire type attacker with Fire Blast, it's still in the top 15 position. Primal Kyogre on the water type of things as well is still the #1 water type attacker in the entire game. These two Pokemon combined, to be honest, are some of the best Pokemon in Pokemon Go and probably will be for the foreseeable future. Both of these Pokemon are #1 in their categories, but let me just say, it's so important to mention that without the use of their legacy moves, they would not be. Let me just say that it will be guaranteed that Origin Pulse and Precipice Blades will be on both of these Pokemon this day. They will also be coming with their special Hoenn backgrounds pertaining to Ruby and Sapphire. The following Pokemon will be spawning in the wild on that Wednesday, which is going to be Trico, Torchic, Mudkip, as well as encounters with Poochyena, Tailo, and Nincada. Our first target here is going to be Trico going into Mega Sceptile. Guys, Mega Sceptile is still the best grass type attacker in the entire game, with Frenzy Plant as a dragon type attacker is currently in the 17th spot. spot, let's have a look at Torchic going into Mega Blaziken. Mega Blaziken, again, still is the #1 best fire type attacker in the game, and it is the 2nd best fighting type attacker in the game already. These are 2 targets that you should be catching all over the place. And if we have a look at Mudkip going into Mega Swampert is still the 2nd best water type attacker in the game with Hydro Cannon, and even as a ground type, it's breaking into the top 10. All of these starters are huge targets, and please remember to trade them as well. These starters are probably the most important to try and get hundos for. Moving on to Thursday the 26th, which is going to be featuring the Sinnoh region. It looks like in 1-star raids we can get Pikachu wearing Lucas's hat, Pikachu wearing Dawn's hat, and then the space-time anomalies will be available as well. So also in 1-star raids, which will be rotating, it looks like every hour or every half an hour, it's going to be Pikachu wearing Ree's cap as well as Pikachu wearing Akari's kerchief. In 5-star raids, we can see Dialga and Palkia, but we can also see 5-star raids of Origin Form Dialga as well as Origin Form Palkia, and those two will have its own raid hour from 6 to 7 p.m. local time that night. All 4 of those Pokemon have the potential of having a Pokemon Diamond background for Dialga and Origin Dialga, as well as a Pokemon Pearl background for Palkia as well as Origin Palkia. Spawning in the wild on that day is going to be Turtwig, Chimchar, Piplup, as well as encounters with Bidoof, Shinx, and Snover. Undoubtedly, your best pick out of the starters there is going to be Piplup going into Empoleon. Empoleon right now is the 14th best Pokemon in the Great League. It is currently in the top 10 in the Ultra League, and even as a water type attacker, it's currently around the 25th spot with Hydro Cannon. That's definitely your best pick. We also have Snover going into Mega Abomasnow. As we know, the Mega is available, and it is still breaking into the top 10 as the 9th best ice type attacker in the game. Then finally, moving on to Friday the 27th, which is going to be surrounding the Unova region. It looks like in 1-star raids we can encounter Pikachu wearing Hilbert's hat, Pikachu wearing Hilda's hat, as well as rotating with Pikachu wearing Nate's visor, as well as Pikachu wearing Rosa's visor. And it looks like there is going to be a rotation in 5-star raids of Reshiram and Black Kyurem coming with the fusion energy, as well as Zekrom and White Kyurem also coming with the fusion energy. It looks like these raids will be rotating every 30 minutes as well, just like it was for the origin forms of Palkia and Dialga. Reshiram will know the move Fusion Flare, and Zekrom will know its charge move Fusion Bolt. How this translates onto Zekrom very quickly is that it is still the 8th best electric type attacker in the game with that Fusion Bolt move. In Reshiram's case, it is still the 29th best dragon type attacker, the 6th best fire type attacker with that Fusion Flare, and in the Master League as well, this Pokemon is breaking into the top 10th spot, currently sitting in 9th. These Pokemon are still incredibly good despite their fusions, which are going to come now. We can also raid Black and White Kyurem, and of course we will get an encounter with Kyurem that may know the legacy move of Glaciate. All of these Pokemon as well will have the potential to have special backgrounds from Pokemon Black or White, and if you do fuse this with a Kyurem that does have a special background, they will actually share a brand new special background once fused. Black Kyurem right now is currently the 8th best dragon type attacker in the game. It's the 2nd best ice type attacker in the game with its legacy move and adventure effect of Free Shock, and in the Master League as well, it's still breaking into the top 15, hovering around the 12th position. In White Kyurem's case, it is the best ice type attacker in the game, the 22nd best dragon type attacker in the game, and still breaking to the top 10 as the 7th best Master League Pokemon. All of these Pokemon are so relevant, very, very important to raid them and space these days out accordingly. The wild spawns on that day are going to be Snivy, Tepig, Oshawott, as well as spawns for Lillipup, Darumaka, as well as Gothita. Undoubtedly, your 2 best picks there are going to be Tepig going into Emboar. Emboar right now is not the best Pokemon, but we do know that its Mega will be coming to the game at some point, probably breaking into the top 10 best fire type attackers. Oshawott is undoubtedly your best pick of the starter because as a water type attacker, it's still the 20th best in the game, and the Great League is currently ranked around the 36th spot. The Ultra League is currently hovering around the 45th spot. That's definitely going to be your best starter to go after. These are some quick fire tips to help you through the week. Please remember to Mega Evolve Pokemon to help you with raids, but also to accumulate candy as well as XL candy for certain raid bosses. For example, if you wanted to go after like something like Primal Groudon, because it does share a ground typing, you want to Mega Evolve a ground type Pokemon in the background so you can get the candy and XL candy upon catch completion. Tip number 2, to make these raids as well as catching these Pokemon easier for yourselves, please remember to use the adventure effects of certain Pokemon. For example, Black and White Kyurem's Free Shock and Ice Burn. The other adventure effect you could use is going to be Crown Sword Zacian's Behemoth Blade, which is going to increase your damage in raids by about 5% as well, so you can have extra damage multipliers on top of being in the Season of Precious Paths, where raiding with friends gets you a damage multiplier on top of everything as well. We need to be taking down these bosses as quick as possible and making catching easier. Tip number 3, please remember to put certain Pokemon as your buddy to trigger their evolutions. Hisuian Quillfish as well as Galarian Yamask require you to complete 10 raids with them as your buddy to trigger their evolutions into Runerigus as well as Overquill. Tip number 4, please sort out your parties before the week starts. For every single raid boss, you need to try and have a team to take this thing down as quickly as possible, especially if you aren't going to be raiding with in-person friends. This saves you so much time in the lobby of trying to organize teams and doing things on the fly. You need to be organized going into this week. Make sure your counters for each raid boss are set up. If you guys want to see everything going on in Pokemon Go this week, we will leave it as our end screen right here, and also the lunar year when this video goes live will be live too. Please check that out. Huge shiny Gimmicool chances, but huge chances at getting lucky hundos or schlundos. Guys, you need to be watching both of those videos to make sure you caught up on everything. Love you guys. Go with us. We stacked this video. Hope you enjoyed this guide, and we'll catch you in the next one, baby. For Kalos Tour,